today.
Not doing the intro today. I don't know what she wants me to do. I'm kind of like confused as to what your job is today.
It's to read the questions.
So, all right, I won't say anything else. Just read the questions.
Well, you can chime in. I mean, you can say things like here or there if you feel like
here, there. That's all I'm allowed to say.
So I'm gonna do my intro.
Okay.
Do you need to practice your names or anything? You got it all? Okay. Whitney Whitaker, Danielle Onder, we're here to do Q&A number 40 with you. I'm the owner and dog trainer at Milligan Valley, and Danielle's a trainer here, and she assists me in lots of other areas in running the business.
Someone on the questions says a Shih Tzu.
Oh, goodness. I mean, not about the Shih Tzu thing, but about, like, that created, like, this, like, to interrupt my intro. Anyway, we love helping you guys. Historically on the Q&A, though, we get a lot of questions on how do I stop this or how do I stop that. Okay, the only way to stop an unwanted behavior is through discipline or punishment. That's it. So we do talk a lot about discipline and punishment on the Q&A. However, when we're training dogs, obedience commands, we do that through hundreds of repetitions. We use a clicker and food here, and we reward the dog over and over and over and over again in the patterning process. But you're going to hear us probably talk a lot about punishment and discipline today because we get a lot of questions on how do we stop unwanted behaviors. Lots of dog trainers are not talking about how to stop unwanted behaviors because it's not popular to talk about discipline and punishment anymore in the world we live in. But we talk about it because it's necessary, and we want to help as many people struggling as possible and keep dogs in their original homes. So, I think we're ready to roll.
Okay. Sarah,
we have a mix today. Oh, sorry. We have a mix today.
Every time.
I know.
Like, that's why I pause. I pause on purpose.
Okay.
And
You're doing good. You're doing good, but I do have something else to say. We're going to have a little bit of a mix today because I did open some questions up to Instagram as well. Okay, go on. That was good.
Sarah Willis Hall. She has a 9-week-old double doodle. She's with her all day in the office because she works from home. Hasn't had any accidents as they go out often in the daytime. She's not having accidents. She eats 3 times a day. Okay, so she's perfect except for she potties in the crate at night. She was going 10p to 6a and realized that it was too long, so she's been taking her out overnight. She bought a smaller crate. She says that doesn't make a difference. It's almost as though her poops are switched on days and nights. I need to sleep again. So any help is appreciated greatly.
So, Sarah, we have not had a question from you before, so we appreciate you joining us, and we hope that we can help you. Potty training dogs is pretty much one of the worst things I can think of. It's hard. Potty training dogs is hard because you have to really figure out, like, their kind of like tells, their signals, and at 9 weeks old, you're gonna have to still get up through the night. Absolutely. Smaller crate helps, so that was a good choice there. I would take your dog at this point. I would do 2 meals a day. Let's take it down to 2 meals a day. Just don't split it up over 3 meals. Split it up over 2 meals. So whatever. If your dog's eating 2 cups of food a day, then do a cup in the morning, cup at night. Don't split it between 3 meals. Try that.
And maybe make sure that you're feeding early enough at night.
Yeah.
Stop your feeding after,
Yeah.
It says you go to bed at probably around 10, or she goes to bed at 10, so.
Yeah, so I would do an earlier feeding. So don't feed that dog any food after at least 6 o'clock. No food after 6 o'clock at all. No water after 7 or 8. Don't do free reign food or water. So it sounds like you're doing meal times, which is good. Split it up into 2 different meals. Don't do free reign water either. Give the dog drinks. Say, here you go, puppy, have a drink. Pick it up, and then take the dog right out to the bathroom to eliminate. you're gonna have to still get up through the night for maybe another 2 or 3 weeks, maybe. Don't put any bedding in the crate. I know that might sound like weird, but if the puppy can potty on like a blanket or something, the blanket's gonna absorb it, and I want the puppy to sort of be left to feel uncomfortable from pottying in a crate. Sort of like when you potty train a child and they go and they have an accident, the first time without a diaper, they're like, right? Because they're wet, they can feel wet. So the puppy's not going to like being in its own filth. Now that leads me to another thing, is if you got the dog from a breeder that did not keep things, or you probably bought the dog. So breeder, rescue, shelter, whatever, any place that has raised the puppy up the first 9 weeks and did not keep the puppy in a very clean environment, the puppy is going to have a harder time pottying, learning to be potty trained. I hate to tell you that, but that's just the way it is. It spent the first 9 weeks of its life programmed to eat, sleep, play. Eat, sleep, play. That's all puppies do, in its own filth. Try those things, okay?
She also had another question. She wants to know if you have any other tips on how to train, because she makes no noise. And she says, I know you don't recommend bell training, but she makes no noise. Any other tips on how to train so that the rest of her family knows when it's time to take her out?
Watch the dog. So to me, it's not about noise. It's about, does the dog put its nose down and start circling, right? That's like one of the biggest tells that a dog will do, is they'll be playing and then all of a sudden they'll stop and they'll put their nose to the ground and start circling. It's at that time it's like, whoop, let's go. But I'm 9 weeks old. Man, you're gonna be running that dog out to the bathroom a lot right now because their bladders are really small. But I don't have any tips or tricks into making her like make a noise at that. I just watch the body language. Usually circling is a pretty good indication. So, all right, have fun with that. Best wishes. Next.
Sabrina Johns.
Hey, Sabrina.
She's commenting for Mary Jo Evans.
Oh, that's a good friend.
8-week-old Shih Tzu poodle.
Okay.
That's adorable.
Bring Harvey over here. Harvey,
come. Look at this bundle of joy.
There's little Harvey.
He is a 3-year-old Shih Tzu poodle.
Otherwise known as a
Mark.
sheepoo. Okay, as you were. Place.
Good job, buddy.
All right, congratulations on your puppy.
So work schedule has her leaving at 4 a.m. and returning at 3 p.m. Most days
I want you to start showing up to work at 4 a.m.
That's okay. Most days her daughter can let her out a couple of times. Any tip for making it a good routine with those hours? She feeds her at 3 a.m. and lets her out a couple of times before she leaves. She has crate training.
Good. So here's the thing. And I don't mean this to be like sarcastic or snarky or anything. I mean, maybe I do. But dogs, they can't tell time. So they don't care if it's 3 in the morning or 3 in the afternoon or midnight or noon, The dog will get into your, and I definitely don't mean it snarky. Maybe a little sarcastic. But they can't tell time. So I
don't think anybody really thought it was.
Well, I just don't want to be like, dogs can't tell time. But, it's like.
Yeah, but now everyone's like, what part of it did she mean that was
I don't think my jokes are hitting home today.
I don't think they are either. I'm sorry.
I've had some bad.
They just kind of flop.
My jokes aren't. Yeah, they're not good today. I don't know why.
Okay, well, as David says, you aren't the funny one.
I'm not the funny one. I have been told that over and over. But I keep trying. And I think the more I try,
it's better if you don't try.
Yeah,
it's better
Yeah, I think. Hard. Yeah. So let's just scratch my bad joke and let's just go back to dogs can't tell time. So your dog will fall into your own little routine. So her day then just starts at 3 in the morning and you feed her and take her out. Same thing though, what is this, an 8-week-old puppy? 9-week-old puppy?
8.
8?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you're going to be potting that dog at this time at 8 weeks old several times a day, every few hours.
Okay,
So
but she
hopefully you can get somebody to come in and let the dog out.
She says her daughter.
Oh, I thought you said she can't.
She can't.
Okay.
Her daughter can come and let her out
Yeah.
a couple times.
Yeah.
But
Um,
not several times a day.
yeah, so if you let the dog out first thing in the morning, and your daughter can come maybe once or twice in the middle part of the day until you get home. And she's not going to have to do that forever, but until the dog can go more hours at a time. She's just too young right now, too. And I know that's a pain. I know it is. And it's not like my expert dog training advice. That's just kind of like how it is, you know. It's not. I mean, I know. It's like I want to be able to tell you, like, oh, do this. And it's like, but it's just like 8-week-old puppy. Somebody's going to have to come let the puppy out. If you're gone for 8 hours a day, somebody's going to have to. So hopefully your daughter will be able to do that. But as far as the time that you leave, it doesn't matter that it's 3 a.m. The dog will adjust.
So basically, your tip is any routine you want to have with the dog, the dog will fall in line. That's
Yeah.
it. You don't have to worry at all about that.
Yeah.
So you feeding her at 3 a.m. That's fine.
Yeah.
Perfect. Whatever works for you.
Yeah. The dog doesn't care if you work midnights or days or
Mhm.
anything like that. So thank you, Sabrina, for sending your friend our way. And if you have more questions as your dog gets older, please let us know. All right, next. Oh, that was a good pause. That was a good.
Danger.
Yep, that was good.
Rick 1285.
Hey, Rick.
Even though I'm supposed to say it 1285, I have to say it my own way.
Oh, you are supposed to say 1285?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what he said.
Hey, Rick.
He says, first, thank you so much. You said that DOG's world would get bigger, and you weren't lying. She loves riding shotgun as much as I love having her there. It's amazing actually having her out and having zero anxiety as to how she will act. Perfect lady every time. I want to take her everywhere. Which leads to my next question. Where are there dog-friendly places we can go to continue with what you taught us, as well as just hanging and enjoying ourselves?
See, doesn't that make it worth it? Like to know you just opened somebody's world up. Proud of you. Proud of you for taking the dog out and putting all the stuff that you have learned and that she has learned to use. You could go to Home Depot, usually allows dogs. Lowe's. I don't think Menards is real good
No,
at
Menards doesn't normally allow dogs.
Yeah. We go to Tractor Supply a lot. In the summer, in warmer weather, we go to Panera a lot, and we sit outside and we'll like have lunch or whatever
Starbucks
outside at Panera. Yeah, I mean, I'm not real big on Starbucks, but
yeah, we all know you
once in a
hate
while,
Starbucks.
you know, it's like I'll go sit at Starbucks.
Yeah.
You know, if there's like no other place to go.
Like, it's not like you demand every time I come that I bring you Starbucks. I have to bring you Starbucks every time. It's like on a demand.
Could you imagine, like, if I demanded that you brought me Starbucks every time? Could you imagine how, like, that's an addiction. Anyway, sometimes you could go sit at Starbucks.
Sometimes I'm like, I'm not getting coffee. Did you? Okay, well, you're not getting coffee, but mine's fine. Just bring me whatever.
Yeah.
Bring me whatever. You just go ahead.
Yeah. It's good I don't do that. Anyway, sometimes we'll go to like the brewery. So, you know, like lots of breweries have outside patios and whatnot, but like Sandy Springs, we'll go out, we'll sit at their brewery, hang out there, outside on the patio. Yeah, places like that. But our main go-to is usually Tractor Supply, Home Depot, or Lowe's. I think even does Home Goods. Was it Home Goods that allows dogs? We just found out. Yeah, remember we just found that out.
I recall you saying it. I just
have to look that up. I don't know that.
for sure.
I don't know that one for sure. So, but I'm so glad your world's been opened up to you. Well-behaved dogs have more fun. They just do. I always say rules equal freedom. So when your dog came to us, your dog had no rules. and lived in a very small world. You know that. Now your dog has lots of rules and her world just tripled in size. So that's awesome. Proud of you guys. Thank you for trusting us with her. Next.
Smoo Dog 1020. How do you stop?
I like that handle. Shmoo Dog.
How do you stop a counter surfer?
Oh. It's easy. It's very easy to stop counter surfing. You make the act of jumping on the counter incredibly uncomfortable. And you do that with a shock collar. There's a very easy fix. This is the kind of advice dog trainers aren't giving out because it doesn't sound good and they don't want to be attacked. Because I'm going to tell you, when your dog jumps up on the counter, I want you to give the dog a very high level correction. And that does not sound good. But
how high?
I
don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I really thought that was going to be the next person.
I keep you guessing.
Yeah.
I keep you guessing.
No. Back to that though.
Seriously though, how high? I don't know. I don't know. High enough that you won't have to do it again. Okay, guys, let's think about this logically. Why don't you touch the burner of a stove? Because it's hot. So I basically, essentially to the dog, want you to make jumping on the counter hot. You want it to be incredibly uncomfortable for the dog to jump on the counter. So you do that with the shock collar. And why am I so do it today? Set the dog up to fail and do it today. What do I mean by set the dog up to fail? Don't wait till you have 3 ribeyes marinating on the counter and the dog's gonna hop up and jump and grab one. Don't wait until you have, a pizza and 2 dozen barbecue wings sitting up on the counter for the dog to jump up and grab that. Bait the dog today with peanut butter, little peanut butter sandwich or something. Lay it on the edge of the counter, walk in the living room, walk away from the counter, bait the dog jumps up and grabs it. You don't say a thing, you don't even say no. You just make the counter hot by a high level correction on the remote collar, and you will likely save your dog's life. So counter surfing kills a lot of dogs because they eat things and ingest things that are toxic to them and they should not. That's it. That's your answer.
That's a good answer.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Next.
I really don't know. Our
Machino.
Okay. 1. It's 1, 2. Anyway, when do you start leash training a puppy?
We will start structure obedience work with a dog around 14-ish weeks old. Between 14 to 16 weeks. We'll put a prong collar on the puppy. We'll start teaching a proper heel. Prior to that time, though, go ahead and put a leash on the dog in the house with a flat buckle collar. Let them, drag it around. Just kind of get used to having a leash on them. You can do that prior to starting your structured walks. But we would start structured walks with a prong collar and a leash around 14 weeks old, give or take a little bit. It's not like a hard number. It's just kind of like a guidepost.
That was rude.
I would never.
Yes, you would. She says she would never, but you would.
I would never elbow you in the face.
Yes, she would.
I would not.
I would never either.
Yes, you would. Yes, you would. Okay, next.
A Butler 0509. How do you get a 2-year-old neutered male dog from marking his territory in the house? I've tried everything.
Well, I'm assuming. I'm not gonna assume because I don't know all the I don't know all the details. If I know that the dog is marking in my house, first things first, I'm not going to let that dog out of my sight, for one. He's not earned my trust at all. So, first step, don't let the dog be out of your sight in the house. We got some training to do. We got some conversations to be had with the dog. So, step number 1, that dog is either crated or in your direct vision in the house. Step number 2, if you catch the dog in the act, of lifting his leg on your furniture, your cabinets, a door, whatever it might be, you could give him a correction on the remote collar. Absolutely, you can make that act uncomfortable to do that in the house. So you could correct or discipline that. The third thing is, so that's being reactive. So you're reacting to the dog peeing and lifting his leg in your house, okay? Which is fine. I mean, it's fine, and it'll work. But then I want you to think proactively. So we are not big advocates of dogs free roaming the house at all. Even dogs that don't have behavior problems. Like, here, let the ears go up. Let the ears go up. You know, and Harvey's over here. He's on place. Like we these aren't bad dogs, but they don't need to be up wandering around. They don't need to be up wandering around. When we go outside, they can run and play and be dogs and have fun outside, but they don't need to be wandering around here. And these dogs aren't going to hike their legs. So be proactive. Tell the dog, place, lay down, relax, and do nothing. Your dog can't pee on anything in the house if he's laying politely on his bed, relaxing. So there's kind of like 3 steps for you. 1, 2, and 3. So number 1 is dog's not out of your sight when he's outside of a crate in the house because he has not earned the trust. Number 2, if you catch him in the act, which you should because you're applying step number 1, right? So number 2, if you catch him in the act, you correct or punish the behavior. You can do that with a shock collar. Number 3 is be proactive. Teach the dog a place command, no free roaming. Next.
That was it.
All right, guys. Thank you for all the great questions. We love helping you guys. I want to give you as much free help as possible, and we will see you next week.